everyone, welcome to the ninth episode of Wdym podcast. And the guest that I have today is someone I could only think of getting on my podcast. He's the big name in the EdTech industry. As the co-founder of Codeyoung, Shailendra Dhakad has spearheaded the creation of a comprehensive platform that empowers kids with modern tech and essential life skills. Recognized by business world as one of the brightest young entrepreneurs and innovators under 40, Shailendra's journey from coding enthusiast to visionary educator is truly inspiring. This IIT Delhi graduate at Codeyoung is dedicated to making coding not only accessible but also engaging and enjoyable for children and teenagers, fostering a new generation of tech-savvy problem solvers and innovators. So, hi Shailendra, would love to hear a self-introduction from your side and fill in the gaps in case I missed anything.
Yeah, nice to be here and thanks for reaching out. I'm looking forward for a nice conversation and thanks for the nice words.
Can you just start to deep dive into your journey first? How did it started? Whatever you'd like to share.
Sure. For me, it was very much of a personal problem. When I graduated from IIT Delhi in 2018, I really felt like even though I've spent like 14 years of school, I've spent 14 years in school and 4 years in college, and I've gone through one of the best education the country has to offer. But still, I feel that I don't have the skills that are needed out there to be independent. I'm still dependent on some employer to give me a job and train me to do something valuable. I had raw potential, I had raw aptitude because of maybe my training due J preparation or doing engineering, something that I developed. But I just felt like it's 14 years plus 4 years that we spent in formal education. It's a long time and to not have intangible skills. That was one part, and second part is that I started learning coding when I was in second, third year of college. I got introduced to it, but I could never become as good as I wanted to be. Reason being, when you are in college, you actually have a lot of responsibility and expectations from you. Like you are there to get a job, you are there to make friends, you are there to make personality. So you actually get very busy by that time, and learning coding at that time happens in a very haphazard manner, if it happens at all. And I realized that it's not a skill that requires any prerequisite, like you have to go through biology of grade 12 to start learning coding. It's not like that. It's a very independent skill. It's more of a working skill. And I also see it as an avenue to express your creativity. Like you learn dance, drama, music, art, all these things helps you express your creativity. Just like that, coding can be one of these skills. So idea was simple, that we have a great access now for computers. Like they are becoming more and more affordable, more and more common. Internet is reachable to even the remotest areas, and bandwidths are such which can enable a lot more things on internet. It's not like it's very slow and we can't do many things. We can actually have a video call and many more things because the bandwidths are such. So why coding is not very common in school? Why it is not being introduced to kids in school? That was my personal dissatisfaction and my personal conviction that it should be happening more than it is happening. And that's where we started. But yes, I understood that how business works, and we were very sure that we want to grow it as a private entity rather than a non-profit or an NGO. Reason is that the kind of efficiencies and scale you can manage with a for-profit organizations are of a different level compared to a non-profit or a non-government organization. So we were very sure that we want to build a business out of it, and we can only build a business if parents also feel this way, if kids also feel this way, if kids also enjoy learning coding in the school. Only when it happens, we have a chance to make a business out of it. So that's how we started. And yes, one thing led to another, and things are working out, and I'm very happy about the things where they are.
Definitely inspiring how it started, all the inspiration that you had, it all came from itself that you wanted coding to become more accessible to children. because people don't learn coding. I mean, in today's time, definitely artificial intelligence has taken up. What's your viewpoint on that? I mean, artificial intelligence has taken up. How far do you see coding going from here?
I think artificial intelligence is a great technology, especially artificial intelligence is always there since a long time. But let's talk about specific LLMs or generative AI, which has created a lot of buzz recently, and not just buzz, but actually making a lot of impact. So if we see that how LLMs or generative AI will change our lives, one of the biggest category that comes in my mind is education. Uh, because in education we have been very dependent on good quality teachers, and I think that is going to remain true for a coming time, because as these things become common, we still see that humans have something to offer which a system cannot. Like, I'll give you an example. When I was in college and just before that, when smartphones were becoming popular and internet was kind of available, people had Wi-Fi. Of course, 2G, 3G connections were, or data packs were not very cheap. They were still costly, but Wi-Fi's were becoming common, and people thought that now we will not have any universities, we will not have any teachers, because one teacher can just record some lectures and just make it available for everyone. But that did not happen. But did it not make any impact? It made a lot of impact. It really made the effectiveness and distribution of teaching a lot more. But still, we need teachers, still, we need universities and colleges. So, we are actually using AI. We are not really afraid of it, but we are using AI to make our teachers better, to make our teachers more effective in classes, in education for kids. And in fact, we are also using it as a technology where it's allowing students to get more from the course. Till now, they just focused on doing a lot of practice on our platform and then talk to the teachers. But after AI, they are actually getting extra help. So if you read a book and if you're a doubt, you can't ask the book back. If you watch a video, there's hardly any way to really understand that in real time. You can possibly leave a comment and somebody responds to it. But with AI, you can actually learn by questioning, and that is why that is how we are using AI in a very interesting manner, and we are very happy where things are going, and I'm very happy as the technology becomes better and better. We will be using it in a much more efficient and innovative ways to make it reach to the students all over the world.
That definitely clear that we will have a better coder society than a no coder society, because AI, using AI to do the task efficiently, is what AI should be looked up to as. So
Definitely.
I'm totally inspired by all of the things, all of the vision that you have shared. But I mean, in India, EdTech industry is difficult to crack. We all will agree with that. So how did you actually made your margins?
I do think that a big reason of that is actually the hype that was created during the COVID times. Um, every industry or every change in consumer behavior, especially a category as sensitive as education, which is very close to a fundamental need for a human being in this today's society. In the past centuries, we can say it has become one of the fundamental needs. The way sometimes venture capital model works is that we like these firms actually thrive when a big change happens very rapidly. Sometimes, because of the category that we are in, these changes are not possible at such a pace. So when 2020 came, when COVID came, and a lot of people believed that it's going to remain like this forever, because we were not seeing a solution, because we have seen that it takes decades to create a vaccine, and we have not even started the work properly on COVID vaccine. So people were thinking it's going to remain there for quite a long time, and we will learn to live this way. So they overestimated maybe the adoption of it. I think adoption was there, but somewhere we kind of bombarded, in India at least, we bombarded consumers with too many options, with too much of an aggressive marketing, which actually backfired. I do think it's not. It's the whatever we saw right now. I see situation is still getting better, but whatever we saw, the big fiascos we saw happening, they were not because there was anything wrong with the fundamental category or with the consumer behavior. I think still it's a big consumer category, and it's a very positive consumer category. It's something. It's one of those categories which is of course is a business, but it also creates lots and lots of uh, value for the consumers. So, so I think it was not because of the category or because of this segment, but the way the capital situation was handled, and the way the growth was approached. So we actually remained sane. We kept our eyes and ears very close to the customers, and we whatever we did, we always tested against, is it like making fundamentally sense? Is it supporting the business fundamentals? Because fundamentals eventually catch up if you don't really ignore them for a long time in business. But fundamentals do catch up. So our philosophy has been to be very independent. Our philosophy has been to be very first principle focused and really do things in that manner.
Very great to look at it. I feel, I mean, people say that EdTech is difficult to crack, but definitely it is one of the most valuable asset to the society in a way.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, great, but how do you think? I mean, you graduated from IIT Delhi almost 10 years back. So how do you think uh, learning all of the skills over there are helping you still today to be able to cope up with all the challenges that you face on a daily basis?
Um, so I entered IT Delhi in 2014, then graduated in 2018. Um, so it has been 10 years since I've entered the campus. I do think the core engineering skills I learned there are not helping me a lot. And same is true with many or almost all of my batchmates, unfortunately. So but the secondary learning that happened going through those kind of courses is something that really change you as a person. So you enter college when you just complete your teenager years, and you finally transition from a teenager to an adult. These are very impressionable years, and you kind of define a lot of things which stays with you for your life, and it evolves, keeps evolving, but some part of it always remains. I think the IIT it taught me is like how to go through tough things, because it's not easy, like it's entirely easy. The IIT's curriculum and courses and the kind of schedule they put you through, it's not entirely easy. At times it was very tough, even seemed impossible, but we went through it, and by the end of it we learned to laugh on it, and that's what we do in entrepreneurship and in life, that if things get tough, you just keep going and with a playful mind. Let me just figure it out and what will happen, like that kind of mindset that I developed there. Second thing is there were some amazing peers and professors. Um, Contrary to what people believe outside, actually, I found IT professors to be very friendly, and even they understand that marks is not everything. Sometimes I was in many courses where I was not a top student, but I had great relation with the professor. It never helped me in grades, but it was like a great learning experience for me because we could talk, and they were very wise people who have went through a lot to reach there. They have seen the world. They have worked with some of the topmost people from industry. So they were very wise, but very welcoming to the students, even towards undergrads. So that's something I remember. And when it comes to peers, I really see that every one of us from the batch were always trying to be the best in whatever they do. Nobody there was trying to do something small. Whatever they were doing, even if they were supposing cultural activities, their focus was just do it so well that they win maybe some competition or just be in the top of the country in something. So that's something that stays with me. That whatever you do, do it with such an intensity and such a goal, uh, and then that's kind of stayed with me. The hard work, the grit, the ambition, that kind of stayed with me and is helping me every day. And fourth thing, after going through all these courses, I was in engineering physics. Um, it's pretty like one of the complicated courses there, and else seems easy. At least on a technical perspective, or at least on the complexity perspective, everything else seems much easier than those things. A lot of people skills we developed. Our people skills are complex in a different manner, which we learned during my off-campus activities, which I learned there. Off-campus activities is something that I can talk about later on. But this is what I learned from the classroom, from the peers. But there was a lot of offline, off-class activities I was involved in, which really shaped me, helped me understand what I'm good at, helped me understand what do I enjoy, helped me understand how to work with team, how to build teams, which was immensely useful when I started the company.
Great. I mean, we couldn't imagine anything less from uh, the top tier college of a country. I mean, being graduated from IIT itself, IIT Delhi itself, you could have bagged a great package and would have lived happily. Why do you think you wanted to get into building?
Um, once you- I think once you start getting it, you realize that there's more to it than you initially took target. Like when I prepared for JE, my dream was just get a certain kind of job of a certain salary, and that salary was also not very high, to be honest, when I was just entering. But as I came there, as I said, that I started learning that what matters to me, what do I enjoy. So so it's not just about money and salary, it's about what kind of environment you will enjoy in. There are thousands of people graduating from IITs and top tier colleges and even not top tier colleges every year. Do you want to be just one of them, or you want to test what's your full potential? So I always want to test what's my full potential. I wanted to be in a situation where I can have a lot of freedom, and a lot of freedom to try and succeed and try and fail. Whatever is there, I wanted to own it, and that's why I just took a jump. But it was not that much about the money that maybe I'll earn there more and here more. It was never like that. It was always like what kind of life I want to live. And money starts mattering less and less. It just gives you a lot of freedom. And I'll tell you, if you're going into entrepreneurship because of money, don't go into it, because you can have a much more comfortable life in terms of even that uh, when you do a job. So reasons were never monetary, but it's more about following your heart, understanding what do you enjoy, and then just commit to it. You just got one life. Why you won't want to follow your heart?
Right. I feel building is one of those things that can can make a person feel that you're adding the most to the society, adding a lot of value to the society that will keep you convinced throughout your life. That is what is the reason behind a lot of people getting into building.
Definitely,
Um,
I'd like to add one more thing
yeah.
that along with today, one of the things that I feel good about, recently we had a Teachers' Day celebration, and we had our teachers town hall. We had some teachers in office. We also could see collected some testimonials and some videos from the students, so to be given to teachers. And when I saw all of it, and somewhere when you realize that all this happened because that day in somewhere in October, November, I took that call. Um, just it was very like it's just in your head. You are deciding that you want to leave your job and you want to do this. So somewhere realizing that all this is happening because that day in November 2019, I decided and Rupika decided that we will just take a leap. It's just very overwhelming at times, and it feels great that somewhere we could make all of this happen. There's so many teachers, and there are over 1,000 people currently in Codeyoung who really earns from us, like who have their livelihood dependent on us. Around 1,000 people. It's a lot of people. So this gives us a lot of satisfaction as well.
Literally a great way of saying everything, literally heart touching. I feel the way you, I mean, any entrepreneur, when just talk about it from a perspective from the day they started, that fine day, and that is so much valuable to them. I feel everybody who appreciates that always started it from the perspective that they wanted to add value to the society. not
Right.
from that money perspective that we talk about. Um, I mean, coming back to Codeyoung, don't you think that a lot of coding platforms in the society, as you rightly mentioned, I mean, tech industry was already saturated a
Mhm.
lot of platforms were there. What made you stand out? What did you provide different to the students?
I think it again comes down to being very internally focused. Our reasons of starting up and our reasons of grow were different. I'm not saying that everyone out there was not having the same feeling or a great intention to start a company. They might be having, and it might be there might be a lot of role of luck and serendipity, but I know what we did right. I don't know what other people did or did not do. I don't know that. What we did right is that we always remain very internally focused. We started with a conviction and we tested that conviction among students and parents. We got a lot of feedback. We got a lot of acceptance in terms of what we're thinking and a lot of feedback like what more we can do. And we just followed that. There's nothing else we ever did. All our ideas that what should be done always came from our internal insights. We hardly looked at someone else. See, they are doing this. Let's do it. There were so many things that everybody around us, one company did, and everybody saw it, and they started doing it, and they kind of lost a lot of capital in that, and it kind of killed all of them. We never did that. So our approach has been very internally focused. If you start with a strong conviction and then just remain true to that conviction and just build on it, that is where you succeed. In our case, I can maybe make a big list of things that we did differently because we believed in something else and which was not very popular. Be it on the curriculum side, be it in the platform side, be it in the timing of steps that we took, like timing when we wanted to go international, deciding how we want to go international. Do we want to cater to 20 countries or 2 countries? uh, Deciding when do we want to even launch maths as a category, when is the right time, how do we want to approach it, like should we, what goals we want to drive. So all these things were came from a lot from internal insights rather than trying to follow someone else, and that's what made us stand out from whatever was out there.
Great. I mean, that truly shows how far Codeyoung has come. All the insights that you shared, that truly shows that you were focused on that one thing and not looking up at the competitions is the best way to keep growing.
Right.
Uh, you transformed from a growth product manager to being an entrepreneur. Would love to know how being a growth product manager helped you in your journey today, helps you in your journey today.
Yeah, I do think it's not so much about the role, uh, even though I was hired at a certain role, but I was practically doing anything that was needed for the team. It was a very small team that I worked for. It was a 15-member team, and I was a 15 person. And I never thought that if this is my work or this is not my work. I just got excited by by like what they were doing. I understood how this all works, what are the company goals and why. And my idea was just to figure out what needs to be done and just do it. There are times when we realize that we don't have people with that kind of skill set to do certain things like say testing or design or hiring. Um, and I kind of just understood that how it will be done and I did it for them. So this made me this I was like this since the start, since college days, and this helped me a lot. So being curious, whatever role you are in, being curious about how things work, and then trying to learn to make an impact. And the only way to learn to make an impact is actually making an impact. So whichever role one is in, if the role is such which allows them to have a lot of exposure to many things, can help them to become an entrepreneur later on. That's how I think, and that's how it helped me.
Great. I feel great to the point that The role doesn't matter, obviously, the value you add to your work that matters, the honesty that you do your work with, that is all what matters at the end of the day. Uh, all the all the before all the jobs that you have done, and now you are into the building zone. How do you think your life has changed? I mean, as a person, and I mean, from all the angles you can look at your life as, how do you think your life has changed? Do you feel more happier, more convinced with your life?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, and I do think it's not just about personal achievements. I don't think it's sorry. So definitely, it we make better now because it's not just about professional achievements. It's a lot more about even personal growth that you go through. When you try to run a company and build a company, it kind of forces you to grow yourself too in a lot of ways and become mature, like make you mature faster than your age, which is actually a very good thing. I feel much more like much more confident, clear in what we want to do. Of course, I'm more busy, but then also I'm more disciplined about my own energies and about my own time. I feel good that today I'm capable of doing so much more than I was when I was younger. So starting a company is definitely is a great path to personal growth, self growth. It takes you through a lot of challenges, and there are times which you will realize that you are the only one who can face. The other people won't even know what you're going through. I mean, other people in the sense who have not tried or built a company. That's why having good co-founders help. I had a great co-founder, Rupika. I have a good co-founder who's there to support me, and I'm there to support her. So, so yes, it has made me grow faster than my age in terms of maturity, and yes, it feels great. It feels great, and I'm just today very focused in the present and very much looking forward for the future. That how can we make more impact?
Right. Starting any journey, like in getting into the building space, is never easy. I mean, you will agree to that. So, I would love to know some of the challenges that you face and how did you cope with them with the future leaders who are looking up to building in the same sector.
So it depends. Everybody's journey is very unique. I think challenges in terms of challenges when you just start, you feel a lot of challenges. In terms of you feel there's a lot of rejection coming in your way. You're trying to hire people, nobody's ready to join. Um, Fundraising is different altogether. That's like you face lots and lots of rejection even to the later stages. But initially, see even you will see that even convincing customers and convincing people to work with you is just a challenge. I think what I'll suggest is that when you start a company, the first 6 months to 1 year at least, you won't be able to go through that first year if you do not have a small conviction on a company on your problem that you're solving. So having a very strong conviction about the problem that you're trying to solve is very crucial for these first few months or years, because you will feel a lot of resistance. You will feel that maybe nobody cares about what you want to try, what are you trying to build, and they're right in their way because everybody's life is busy. Everybody is very serious about where they want to give their time. So that's one thing that I'll just suggest, that only start on a problem when you have a strong conviction, at least on the problem, if not the solution. Solutions can change, solutions can evolve, but you have to have a very strong conviction and clarity on what problem you're trying to solve.
Great. So, conviction is all what matters in this journey. Um, we'll keep that in mind. So, how do you see the future of tech education evolving, and what role do you envision Codeyoung playing in that future?
I think tech education it should pick up because we all are seeing that how much it's becoming like magic today in terms of tech. Although I personally believe there are a lot of areas we kind of missed, but when it comes to at least seeing AI, the way it has evolved and the kind of impact it can make, it was like I think people do have a lot of incentive to learn tech today. We have specifically focused on school education because we feel like there's a lot of creativity and energy that young kids have, which is very difficult to get in older kids, and even they have more time. So if we teach kids in a little bit slower pace compared to a very fast pace that sometimes college students go through, this can help them take up the skills very organically. And once you learn these skills as a working skills organically, you can actually be so comfortable with it that you can use it to express what you have to express. So that's what our focus is. That we want to change the mindset of these kids. We want to really see that these kids who have learned from us, 10 years down the line, their life should look very different from what it would have looked if they wouldn't have taken a course from us or wouldn't have learned from us. And that's going to be that's actually a big thing for us. I think education is one of the few segments where you can actually impact a lot more lives on a very deeply, in a very deep sense. In the sense like either you can have something very small which is helping a large number of people. Say you are helping people book a cab. It's not such a small thing, but yes, booking a cab. It's not life changing. Or you can do something very boutique for some people like a consulting role. But education is something that you can actually impact masses and on a level that can be life changing. So that's what we're trying to do. I think changing lives and changing the direction of mindset that kids develop is much easier in early school years, and that's what we are focusing to do.
Definitely, the future looks exciting with Codeyoung. So, lastly, I would really like to ask to aspiring entrepreneurs like us who want to build at such an early stage. I mean, the entrepreneurs that we really look up to have always stacked up experience and then got into building. But we have that energy in us that we just want to get into building. What
Hmm.
advice would you give them? I mean, we do not have any experience and we just want to get into building. That's a very early age.
If somebody wants to just get started building, it's something very personal. So I started when I was like worked for 1.5 years. I still feel I wish I would have had experience of some big company to see a lot of things because our company is growing, and I get curious about things that how do companies manage this. But I do have people who have worked in other companies and they guide us that in other companies it happens like this. Would you want to do this or something differently? So if somebody is really eager and really has that kind of restlessness that okay, I want to build today, I really want to build something, then I'll just suggest them just be curious, just be and observe around you in terms of consumers, observe around you in terms of like what companies are needing in case you're planning to build something in B2B, and then just identify problems to solve. If you will think of ideas to implement, this is like a open ground. But if you narrow it down to I want to understand what problems I'm seeing around me and what can I do about it, so that's a great that can lead to very good ideas as a consumer company. And same goes with a business to business company where there you will need a bit more exposure to understand that what companies need, what is that the companies can take help from other companies to do for them. So yes, I'll just say that just go out in the world, be curious, be thoughtful, be reflective. If you will be in your own cocoon that I want to do something, I want to achieve this and that, you will never really get anything out of this world. You have to engage with the world, be open to it, and really open your heart in the sense like understanding what's going people are going through, and be curious. Only then you can get good ideas. I do see that.
Great. I mean, the whole of the conversation, every insight that you gave really touched my heart in a way that it totally related with me, and I could just relate it in a way that my big brother is giving advice to me. So thank you so much in whatever insights you gave. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much to the audience for listening.
Thank you, Sneha. It was good talking, and best of luck to you all too. And yeah, thank you for inviting me.
It was an insightful conversation and hope you find it like alike too. I mean, it was definitely helpful to all the folks who are going to build in the tech industry, and this industry excites them because yes, truly said by Shailendra, EdTech is that industry that's the most valuable to the society. May it be saturated, coding and all of that, but this is still and will always remain the most valuable to the society. So if you are thinking into building this, this was hopefully a bang-on conversation for you. Keep building, keep growing, keep learning, and thank you so much for listening and to keep learning in the future. Keep tuning in to Wdym.